We on yet? I need you to do one thing for me. And leave your feelings at the door. However you feel, that really don't matter right now. To all the Israelites all over the world, we got to come to some reasoning and discernment, man. From a lot of standpoints. But for one thing for certain, we can't do any of that, bro, without Most High, bro. I ain't trying to say I got all the answers or none of that. But it's an ongoing cycle of more harsh sounding terms, stupidity, or no, ignorance. I apologize. Maybe I should say ignorance. Because we all know ignorance just means not knowing. We were ignorant to the fact that we were rebellious towards the Most High, servant of the idols. We were ignorant to the fact of we did not know or want to know who we were, so forth and so forth. But when we enter into this community, we have a thought process and a desire to learn, but in the process of that, we start to mix what we like with righteousness and what we dislike with wickedness. And that's far from the truth. You know, it's crazy how we read the scriptures and we see little things like, whether it's all big things, but when they talk about how, well, we gonna do what we say out of our own mouth and mocking the messengers, you know what I mean? But especially we gonna do what we want to do. That's the biggest thing. I never thought I would see the day where the so-called Israelite community will fit the start prophecies of people saying, the slow prophecies of people saying, what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. We got to think about what's going on, man. Like, y'all know over here, I'm trying to start doing more reading. You know what I mean? Not as if I'm not reading, but I'm talking about as far as the passages that we read, the scriptures that we read. All right. I might not have no screen up today, but still going to be reading. I'm going to be coming from the book of Malachi from right now, right? Chapter 3. I'm going to read the whole thing. And as we talk about this a little longer, I ain't going to be too long. You know what I'm saying? What I really want to get to is how when we enter into this Israelite community, bro, we get hit with a wave of information, a wave of instructions, a wave of doctrines, a wave of avenues to be seen or heard. You know, and one thing that I figured out is the lack of discernment that our people have is a reason why they get trapped into things. And they don't know that they're supposed to be judges over the earth and discern what's right and wrong. Let's go to the book of Malachi, chapter 3. It says, "Behold, I send my messenger, and he will prepare the way before me. And Yahweh, whom you seek, will suddenly come to his temple, and the messenger of the covenant in whom you delight. Behold, he is coming, says Yahweh of hosts. But who can endure the day of his coming, and who can stand when he appears? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap." See, Yahweh, automatically we see right here in this verse 2, it says, "For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap." He's here to try you. And one way that he tries you is through your mind, through your soul. He's going to take you here. He's going to take you to places where you didn't think that you would go. And what I mean by that is, a lot of us entered into the truth. We just stumbled across this, being an Israelite, right? But we didn't know that Yahweh was guiding us there. And in the midst of that, we had to start to know what was wrong and what was right. What can I do and what can I not do? And there was a lot of things that we did not want to do, or we didn't want to stop doing. That either we stopped doing or we still do. You know what's right and what's wrong, and you know what you like and what you dislike. And the Most High, he is the one that refines you like fire. That means sometimes you done did stuff. You've been doing stuff. You've been around people, listening to people. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes it's just a lack of discernment of the person that you listen to, or you could be listening to. I'm gonna use those words. I don't want people to think like I'm coming at a certain person, because I'm not. I'm talking to the whole nation of Yahshua. But you might be listening to them or anything, whatever it is, not understanding that the purpose was it was supposed to be for you not to follow a man, and for you to get the understanding from the Most High. I've learned one thing for a fact: meeting the brothers and having conversations with them, when they desire to follow the Most High, just like I do, bro. They read just like I read. And then we come to an understanding that we didn't even know that we had together. Only way we did that is because we were reading the same book. We didn't study together, which is nothing wrong with that. But seeking out the book of Yahweh is how we do this. And you never know. You could be being refined, or, you know what I'm saying? You are not refined. You could be being tried in a way to hurt you or help you. You know what I mean? Anyway, verse 4, Malachi 3. "Then the offering of Yahweh and Jerusalem will be pleasing to Yahweh as in the days of old, and as in former years. Then I will draw near to you for judgment. I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, against the adulterers, against those who swear falsely, against those who oppress the hired worker in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, against those who thrust aside the sojourner and do not fear me, says Yahweh of hosts." It's a lot to unpack right there, but let's keep it moving. "For I, Yahweh, do not change. Therefore, you, O children of Jacob, are not consumed. From the days of your father, you have turned aside from my statutes and have not kept them. See, wait, it wasn't because they didn't know, it was because they didn't like to do it. They discerned, they perceived what to do, but will you do it? Don't tell somebody, don't tell me that you have no problem with correction. And multiple times you've been corrected and you've never been wrong. You know, that just telling me that you know what's right, you just don't like to do it. So anyway, it says, but you say, no, so like verse 7, from the days of your fathers you have turned aside from my statutes and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you, says Yahweh of hosts. But you say, how shall we return? Will man rob your house? Yet you are robbing me. But you say, how have we robbed you? In your tithes and your contributions. You are cursed with the curse, for you are robbing me, the whole nation of you. Bring the full tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and thereby put me to the test, says Yahweh of hosts, if I will open the window of heaven and pour you down for a blessing until there is no more need. Look, man, I know this is not gonna be something that people want to hear, but it's true. We have to put our faith in the Most High, bro. We cannot do the same things that we watched the pastors do, the churches do, the leaders of these other organizations do. Even though they talk against the churches doing it, these Hebrew Israelites, they do it too, right? You know what that is? Money. Now, listen to me. Just because you don't like it, it don't mean that it's not right. If you put your trust in the Most High, and if you was a person, just ride with me real fast. If you was a person that decided, when I was in this, when I first came in, I was told this is how I do it, this is how I get to the masses. Right? Because I was when I first, matter of fact, I'm gonna talk about myself. When I first came into the community, I was following an idol in the New Testament community. No need to say his name. But no need to say his name. But he encouraged me to make a channel. And in that encouragement, I was just, following by example. Ain't nothing wrong with watching somebody, do something if you think it's righteous and going behind it, but it's supposed to be righteous. And at the time I didn't know. But I started my channel, started Shofar Radio. And I started, putting the cash apps up. And I was doing good, without being monetized on the channel. But when I read Isaiah 55:1, even though I already heard that through the church, and then when I would hear about the book of Malachi, and when they would say, "Will a man rob God?" I started to understand as I started reading the Torah more, and I got out of the New Testament. I started understanding more that, hey, Deuteronomy 18:8, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, Deuteronomy 8:18. I don't know why I always get them mixed up. He gives us he gives us power to get wealth, bro. So I took the cash up down. I posted, told everybody, hey, if you got money for me before, you can come get it. I ain't gonna lie, it got rough for a little bit, but Most High, he has been ever since then. He's always provided, bro. You know what I mean? And I say that, only reason why I said that is because Yahweh he said in verse 8 through 10, will a man rob Yahweh? Yet you are robbing me. But you say, how have we robbed you? In your tithes and contributions. You know what I mean? Not giving to the Levitical priesthood, no. It's those people that are teachers. You know what I mean? It was the Levitical priesthood at this time, you know what I'm saying? But now the people that claim to be teachers, you step in the shoes, now you got to lead the people the right way. And it says to bring the full tithe into the storehouse. If anything, you supposed to be giving the people money. You know what I mean? But only reason why I'm saying this because we got to put Yahweh to the test somehow, but not him to the test like we did in Massa. It's not what I like, but I discern that it could be something that Yahweh don't want me to do. You know what I mean? But anyway, he says, bring the full tithe to the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Thereby put me to the test, says Yahweh of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven for you and pour down for you a blessing until there is no more need. Don't you trust in him? If you trust in him, I can imagine, think about it, bro. If you really trust in the Most High and you was to take that stuff away, what kind of other things you think what other avenues can open up? Most High might open up your mind and start another channel that's only based on certain commentary that can have you monetized, but still you got the sheep that won't come in struggling financially and thinking, well, if I can, brother, and I could start my own channel and I could get some money. Now their hearts are turned the wrong way. But that was just one thing. This is not my point on the video, on this thing. It's literally, we have to discern what is right and wrong, not what you like and dislike. Anyway, it says, I will rebuke, verse 11, I will rebuke the devourer for you, so that it will not destroy the fruits of your soil, your vine, and the field that shall not fail to bear, says Yahweh of hosts. Remember one thing. No matter what's going on with these people, whether they decided to shut down everything, the people that follow the Most High, they're going to be good. We don't, I'm not saying don't go out there and get your bread. of course. But you go out there and get your bread, not in the place where the Most High's people are trying to learn. Well, look, verse 11. He will rebuke the devourer, but watch this, so that it will not destroy the fruits of your soil. He will rebuke those who oppress you. Those people out there that run this, out there that run this. We talk about sacrifice. A sacrifice is taking the things that you know that you like to do, that you would desire so much to have, and saying, you know what, I don't think this is right in the sight of the Most High. I got to get this part up. Doing that, it says, so that it will not destroy the fruits of your soil. You'll increase. You know what I'm saying? If the people will understand, all it takes is for you to turn from your wicked ways. Turn from the things that you like to do that is not moral in the sight of Yahweh. Turn away from those things. They'll understand if you do that, man, so many things can open up for you, bruh. So many. Now it says, and your vine in the field shall not fail to bear, says YAHAWAH'S. You're not gonna lose nothing, bro, sis. Anyway, then all nations will call you blessed, for you will be a land of delight, says Yahweh. Your words have been hard against me, says Yahweh. But you say, how have we spoken against you? You have said it is vain to serve Yahweh. What is the profit of our keeping his charge, or of walking as in mourning before YAHAWAH'S? And now we call the arrogant blessed. Evildoers not only prosper, but they put Yahweh to the test and they escape. Discern this. We in a whole nother realm than a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying? We in a whole nother world. Now, with that being said, we see what's going on within the nation. Whether we might be spread out, Yahweh is so magnificent. He put it on these people's mind to make internets, and now even the scattered can see what is happening with one another. Right? Giving us the opportunity to have a completeness, a desire of completeness. Given the opportunity to have a desire of completeness. Shalom, right? But, okay, in the midst of this, though, we see that these people, that there are people, I should say, all over the internet that are Yahshua, that claim to be teachers, that claim to be this, claim to be that. And they'll tell you, once you tell them something is wrong, this doesn't exist, that shouldn't be this way, they'll tell you, well, it's vain to serve him if it's not that. They feel, well, you know, I'm not gonna, you know what, how about this? Since you say I can't do, since you say I'm being wicked by putting a cash app up, I'm going to talk about various topics on my channel now. So therefore, you can't say I'm using the Most High and His word for money. They're gonna still do what they do for the prophet, bro. But they're not gonna keep His charges. They're not gonna walk in His commandments. They don't seek the Most High. They don't plead to be taken out of this captivity, physically or mentally, spiritually. However, spiritually and mentally is the same thing. Okay. Remember, brother, it's not what you like or what you dislike. It's about what's right and what's wrong. Verse 14, you have said it is vain to serve Yahweh. What is the profit of our keeping His charge, or of walking as in mourning before Yahweh of hosts? Think about this. The people that you see in the Israelite community, are they teaching the children their transgressions? They're walking in a state of mourning for the people. But if we discern what's going on, bro, Malachi chapter 3 verse 15, if you will, it says, now we call the arrogant blessed. The arrogant. Who are the arrogant? Listen to what I'm saying, because you just might be conversing, about to converse, or whatever with someone like this. The arrogant. Who are the arrogant? Those that you cannot tell anything to. Those who have all the answers right then and there. Think about this. And if you are a person like this, well, just don't, you could dislike what I'm saying. Just make it right. If you don't know something, it's cool to say, I don't know, or let me get back to you. You not doing that can turn into not only you pushing whatever you want to push, but arrogancy and pride. Remember, especially if you are a teacher, you are, or you claim to be a teacher. You're a shepherd. You have sheep. Just because the sheep won't die from eating what? Let me see. Hay, I guess. Don't mean that you feed it to them. It's not good for them. Just because your kid, just because your 7, 8-year-old is old enough, you think they're old enough to have pop. You don't give them pop at that age, especially all the time. Why? It's not good for them, and you know that. And one day it could lead them into the hospital or bad health, right? Same thing with pushing the people, or leading the people. Hey, and shout out to the real true brothers that are actually doing this from the bottom of their heart. shout out. But that don't mean that we, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean that we're not susceptible. That's the word. Yeah, we're not susceptible of falling to the same things. All of us discern what's right and wrong. Anyway, but it says the evildoers not only prosper, but they put Yahweh to the test and they escape. Remember, the scriptures tell us just because a person do wicked 1,000 times don't mean nothing, bruh. That stuff catch up with them. Don't fall into that. Remember, this is a lifelong thing if you witness for the long run. So before you put it out, discern. Know what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Verse 16. Malachi 3 verse 16. I kind of did this at a wrong time, but I need to get this off. And I know I'm not going to get everything that I want off. But maybe if you got a contrite heart, hey, yeah, I put some music in the background with it. Hey, it is what it is. I ain't trying to put y'all in a trance or nothing. It's just a chill vibe, you know what I mean? But verse 16, then those who feared Yahweh spoke with one another. Yahweh paid attention and heard them, and a book of remembrance was written before them. Listen, discern between what is right and wrong, because I heard there's a book of remembrance out there, quote unquote. This is the book of remembrance. Listen to what it says. And a, not and some or and books of remembrance, and a book of remembrance was written before him of those who feared Yahweh and esteemed his name. Listen to me. No man that fears the Most High is going to go against his name. Especially a man that's around you that doesn't fear the same name that you fear. They're not, man, listen, man, we gotta discern through the scriptures, through the book of remembrance, what's going on. For instance, I'm gonna be simple. There's a rumor that Yah isn't Yahweh. Now, a person that just hearing that, their defense would be, well, the name doesn't matter. That would be their answer to somebody that's been always going around denouncing the name of Yahweh. But have a discernment. You would say, hell, wait a minute. This person's Torah only too. Okay. Well, I got Yah in there and we got Yahweh in there. Huh. Well, let's see if it's together. Now, I usually would, what's the word I'm looking for? I usually would present it on the screen, but I'm not going to do that today. You know why? Because I dare and I challenge anyone that has ever tried to listen, and this is for any name, because I refuse to fall in that trap of going back and forth with y'all about the name. But for any name, right? I challenge you to go to Isaiah 12 and verse 2 in the Blue Letter Bible, where we can all get the same answer. Isaiah 12 and 2. Now, a person that, and I'm saying this not to try to put anybody say, yo, you don't know anything. It's not that. Discernment and knowing what's right or wrong, because Most High is going to reveal, and he's going to make every man a liar, right? So when you go to the interlinear in the Blue Letter Bible, Isaiah 12 and 2, and that's not the only one. It says, behold, I'm going to read it in English, the clean English, right? It says, behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid, for he is my strength and song. The Lord God, and he has become my salvation. Now people will see this and they'll say, you know, YAHAWAH'S, Yahuwah Elohim or Eloheinu, you know what I mean? But the crazy part about it is, in the scripts, that's wrong. And when we discern the scriptures and try to perceive them correct way, we don't try to go and dive deep and come back to the earth with all the hidden knowledge like we the Most High or something. But we go to the book for our answers. Now in this Blue Letter Bible, where it says the Lord God, it says in the Hebrew, Yahawah, or Yah. Well, it's YAHAWAH. And y'all can put that wherever, but this, you know, there's people separating the name, and that's making a whole, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's taking the people that are looking for Yahweh and saying he doesn't exist. Now, when you discern what's right and wrong in that, then you'll see, now this person, they got a lot of information. They got a lot of wisdom. I don't know if it was out of ignorance or not. This person is wrong. Our Hebrew scripts say Yah and Yahweh at the same place. Right. Let me see. Psalms 83, I think. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, and this is interesting. I think it's, let me not do that right now. I'm not trying to prove a point. But there's other scriptures as well where Yah and Yahweh is in the same verse. So discerning that, whether I like it or not, whoever taught me that would be whoever told me that there was two different, that name didn't exist and it was only Yah. That's wrong. It don't matter if I like it or not. It's not about us. It's not. But let me keep going. But yeah, Isaiah 12:2, and there's other scriptures. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I really wasn't going. This is really just freestyle for the most part. You know what I mean? So, and if anybody, I'm not trying to debate or anything, but if anybody got a reason why that's there in the Hebrew text, the name Yah and Yahweh or Yahuwah, whatever y'all want to call it, call when I don't know, whatever, but that's y'all. But it's there. And if the person can't, you know what I'm saying, then it would just, if the person can't explain that, why is it in the Hebrew scripts multiple times, not just secluded in one name here and one name there, right? But anyway, if they can't prove that, and first of all, it shouldn't be they can't prove nothing. You supposed to discern it yourself and go look for it. Then after that, you got to go to the Almighty Yahweh about that, and just repent and keep it moving. But back to this Malachi. I just thought about that because of the name thing, where it say who esteemed his name. I don't know, but this is just about discernment. So when you go into the scriptures, you discern and you perceive, you obtain it, right? So verse 17, they shall be mine, says Yahweh of hosts, in the day when I make up my treasure possession, in the day that he makes up his treasure possession. He's doing that now. He's doing that now. And for those people, they gonna be delivered. They're gonna be given a chance. You know what I'm saying? A chance to thrive, a chance to grow, a chance to live when his destruction comes. It told him to make the path clear for us, bro. I mean, nothing can touch you, but bro, you go. But once again, it was anyway. So it say, I make up my treasure possession, and I will spare them as a man spares his son who serves him. Not as a man who sacrifices his son, but as a man who spares his son. Discerning. Like it or not, what's right and what's wrong. This to all the Israelites all over the world. Discern what's going on. Verse 18 of Malachi 3:18. Then once more you shall see the distinction between righteousness and wickedness, between one who serves Yahweh and one who does not. He'll give you the understanding. But the first thing you got to do is you got to take off all of that stuff that you were doing, all of that following man. See, Jeremiah 17:5, we proclaim that throughout the Israelite community and go and take that to the New Testament community. But realize something. All men are flesh. Cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his arm, and whose heart depart from Yahweh. whose mind depart from Yahweh, from Yah. I'm not telling you don't build with brothers, with the family, but you don't put, just because they've been in this longer, just because they know a little more than you, can have a little more influence than you, that does not mean that they're gonna be right all the time. That don't mean that you don't have the ability to go and read it for yourself. Discern between what is right and wrong. Hey, bro, I really wasn't done. I had 2 more scriptures, but my wife, she over here, she got a point. No. My daughter gotta go to this art thing, right? Hey, you know what I'm saying? A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. But, you know, hey, I don't know if y'all gonna like this or not, or you gonna dislike it. But it is what it is. Discern it, man. This has nothing to do with us. It got something to do with your mind. If you're a teacher, if you're going to have the minds of the people, are you going to bring it back to the Most High without any acknowledgement wanting to be done? And if you are a sheep, and you learn it, discern it for yourself. Make sure you read it. And if they're telling you the truth, don't fight against it. It don't matter if you don't like it. I mean, that's if you win this for the Most High and not for man of any sort. Spiritual, physical, literal. Anyway, before we end this off, we got to give all praises and all honor and all glory to Yahweh and Yahweh only, forever and ever, by saying Kal Yada, Wakabawa, Wahawa, La Yahawah, Wa Yahawah Akah, Alam Wa Alam. Hey, Shalom.